Welcome to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is right.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with Nikki
Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some
Turn
noise.
up. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur, Nikki, Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Arthur, Nikki, Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence, the show where your voice, your story, and power comes to life. We're here to spotlight everyday heroes and amplify voices that spark change through visibility, opportunity, inspiration, connection, and empowerment. And today, we're turning up the volume with a guest who lives that mission out loud, y'all. Tonio Da Great is in the building, and he says, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't feeling great. He's a hip hop artist. He's been rapping since he was 11 years old. He's also the host of Makin Alotta Sense podcast. So I'm not going to tell you everything. We're going to get right back into the show and let him tell you. So after his countdown, please welcome this amazing guy to the Breaking Silence platform. Hey.
Hey.
How you feeling? Thank you so much for being a guest. I'm always excited about collaborating with other podcasters. It's amazing. So much for coming and being a guest on my platform.
And collaborating. And I love what you do, I've seen a few episodes. You actually had my friend on here, Simi. So Simi Nova. So yeah, that's what really got
Oh,
the episode that I've seen from you. So I've been a fan of you since then. So I just thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. This is actually my first virtual podcast. So hey.
nice. Simi. Oh, Simi. I love Simi. Simi, that's my girl there now. I love Simi.
Hey, I'm gonna tell a quick story too about her too. I don't know if I just want me to tell it now, but just sometime before we get off here, I'm gonna tell you how I came along because you part of that. Actually, how I discovered Sydney. So,
Oh, I want to know that story now.
yeah. So I was just on Instagram, and I don't know. You know how Instagram be? They are just it's set up the network. So I think you just came across my timeline or something like that. I don't even know if I followed you or not, but you had Simi on there, and she had a song that was on there, and I just really liked it. The song, I think it was Kay's Bird that you had playing on there. And I was like, oh, I like this song because I like to be discover new artists and new music. So I'm like, yeah, I like this song. So um, I seen that she was on there, and that's when I seen that you had her or whatever. I was like, okay, breaking the silence. Let me see what this about. And ever since then, I've been a fan of yours, and your work. And then I was doing my open mic thing. This was a few months ago, back in December. Um, Semi Nova came down. I was from South Carolina, and I'm in Alabama. She came down all the way
Oh,
ahead.
you to Alabama.
Yeah,
Oh, she
so yeah,
told me that story. So now it connects.
yeah, it connects. See, that's how it's all about networking. And look at God. So I
I
like, yeah, I
love it.
understand that story right there. I love it too, man. So and
Wow.
we,
Yeah, she told me that story about Alabama. And I was like, she was like, somebody watched your podcast. And I ended up in Alabama because, and I was like, what?
yeah,
Who? And she never told me who. So wow. Now it connects the dots.
yep, it was me.
Nice. Man, that makes me feel so good because that is the reason why I'm here.
That's
Connection. I love connecting people.
Exactly. And I feel like it was so natural that I feel like it wasn't forced. You know what I mean? Them type of connections be the ones that last. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and that's
Yes.
what it's all about, man. That's what we here for to do is just connect and collaborate and build one another up, man. So that's what I'm all about.
You trying to make me emotional up here.
I thought I
Man,
didn't say that all earlier, whatever. I didn't mean to throw you off or whatever. Mess your intro up.
I cry after the episode. I cry after the episode. But let me get back to you. When did you and the mic fall in love?
Oh, I started rap, man. Actually, okay, I started rapping when I was 11. That's when I really started like, okay, got into music, taking it serious. But man, I actually was rapping when I was like 8 7 8 years old. But the thing about it was I would rap to my sister. I got an older sister and I had an older cousin. She would always come around like all the time. And so I would rap to them, but I would make no sense. Like I would just be making up words and all that. So they kind of clown me about it. So I just kind of suppressed it a little bit. I would just do it in my own. But then, like, when I got age of 11, she was dating this guy, which is actually my brother and sister, their dad. So he's like my stepdad at the time, and he was a producer. So he had rappers and beat makers all at the house and everything like that. And at the time, I'm playing the violin in the fifth grade. I'm playing the violin and I'm playing the trombone when I get to the sixth grade. So
Okay.
I'm like, man, I want to rap. So just being around him. So they ended up splitting up, but he ended up being the one that really put it in. Like he brought me in. He taught me 16, like how to do verses, how to write a hook. He taught me song structure. Before I even started writing music, he set me down. I watched UGK documentaries. Young Jeezy, T.I., just all of the South, like 3 6 Mafia. I know all of their stories like front to back. So they just really just showed me like you want to be in it for real. Like I'm gonna show you like just really put that battery in my back. And like I said, it was already I had already had a passion for it, but he just took it over the top for me. So yeah, I started.
Nice. Wow. Now you met the mic twice because then you met the mic again later as the host of Making a Lot of Sense podcast.
Right,
When did
right,
you fall in love with podcasting?
man. So okay, the pandemic. Okay, we 2020 we got COVID pandemic, and I was just that's when the time we in the house, so I think maybe a little bit before that I was already watching podcasts and I was into it. But then this in particular one called the 85 South Show and them and $1 million worth of game. So I was just watching them all the time and I just fell in love with it. I was like, man. And then the funny story about that is I said this on my podcast, but I had a cousin I used to hang with all the time around this time, around that time, 2020 and stuff like that. But I had ended up telling him we was at my house chilling one day and we just chilling and I had told him just loosely talking. I said, man, I'm gonna own my own podcast one day, just talking like and that was like in 2020 2021 somewhere off in there. So fast forward end of 2022 um it's the end of the year, and I'm just lost. I had a girlfriend at the time. She ended up leaving me. She just moved across the other side of the map. So I was just lost because we really were supposed to move together. So I'm just like, man, what am I gonna do? And so I just woke up one day, it was like podcast, and so make it long story short, I ended up coming across some money. I bought the gear and what equipment, and I just kept rolling, made the name. I found me another host or two hosts, and then I just kept going with it. Each and every day I would buy stuff, or come up with this, like, hey, this what we're gonna do right here. You know what I mean? And it just kept going, kept going. Then I finally that snowballed into me asking my first guest. My first guest, which actually is a guy that I look up to, man. He just has a lot of inspiration that he play on me. Is my barber. He
Mm.
cuts my hair and stuff like that. But he also he's his own business. You know what I mean? He's his own
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur. So like it just felt natural to ask him on, and then it just started going from there.
Wow. So
Now
now,
we, oh, go ahead.
so now, how did you come up with the name and making a lot of sense. And what is the overall theme behind the name?
That's a great question. Okay, so making a lot of sense is just okay. When I sat down and I thought about my podcast, just like my music, I treat this podcast seriously, and like I said, I've been doing music for years, so I don't really play when it comes to music. That's my heart, that's my passion. So, um, like I said, it was just another thing I fell in love with when it comes to podcast. So, with that being said, I don't just do stuff just to be doing it, or you know what I mean. I like to, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do my best at it. So when it came to picking names, for one, I just feel like I always been a good name picker. Like I picked when it came to picking my songs or mixtapes or albums I've dropped. So I just sat down with it, and I was just like, man, something got to ring. So at first I think I had the name. Uh, it was a longer name. It wasn't making a lot of sense. It was something like making too much. It was like we made it was like a longer name, so I just kept playing around with it, and I was like, dang, let me see how I can make that short. So making a lot of sense, and it just started ringing, and I was like, okay, the whole theme of what I wanted to do with my podcast was I wanted to get on there and just talk about my whole thing with my podcast is we're gonna build black entrepreneurs and black people. Just anything you do, like shine light on. Like I've had barbers, I've had musicians, I've had actors, actresses, I'm trying to get a politician on. I've had cooks. I just had a variety of people, bro. And I've had a breast cancer survivor, or she's a vegan owner, or has her own vegan spot. But just a
Nice.
variety of people. I just want to shed light on those people because I feel like we don't. Where I'm from, especially, we don't shine. We don't big up each other enough. We tear
Right.
each other down. You know what I mean? And I just got tired of ever since I came up from, like I said, being 11, picking up the mic. Ever since I came up, all I heard was just bad stuff being said and done to my people or where I'm from. So I just wanted to try to change that. So I said, boom. My whole thing was with me building my podcast. I'm gonna show a different side of me because I wanted to show people that I'm more than just a rapper. Even though that's a big part of me. So I said I'm gonna build my own podcast. I'm not getting the opportunity, so I'm gonna make my own opportunity. So and then I said I'm gonna shine light and I'm gonna start on the people where I'm from that's closest to me. You know what I mean? Because where I'm from, we have a lot of talent, but we don't support each other enough. I feel like so. I just said, man, let me just try to. Instead of talking about it, man, let me put this into action and just try to show people. Like, let me start. Let me be that person to start making the change. And we slowly but surely, I'm starting to see the change where more people starting to collaborate. And that was my whole goal, man. Just shine some light. And I go ahead and give y'all a little secret too. My next guest that I'm getting on is actually gonna be my mother. So, and it just worked out like that. Like, it's crazy. Like I had one guy, he was a coach. I had a coach come on. He's a little bit younger than me. We went to school together though, and he told me coming on one day. It really touched my heart. That let me know that I was going in the right direction when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
He said coming on this podcast has been his therapy. And I was like, wow, man, I just got to keep going. Like, I got to, because when I come on there, it's judge free. We don't judge good or
Right.
bad. You can come on here and just, I try to make it comfortable to where people can get their story out. You know what I mean? And we never going to judge you well over here. You know what I mean? Like, we can talk about anything. And if you don't feel comfortable talking about something, we can leave that alone. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. So it's just trying to be the best host and just trying to put my best foot forward and just make my guests comfortable. That's all.
Ah, look. See, you sold me a long time ago when you said shine the light. I was done. Like I was like, wow. See, this is alignment. I love alignment. Yeah, that's
Right.
amazing. You're from a small town. Was it Gaston?
Yes, ma'am.
See, I've been doing my research, and I saw a snippet that you did. You was talking about that. You was talking about how people. There were so many great people in your area that are doing great things, and you just want to shine the light on them. Same for my. I come from a very 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 small place. I don't know if Gaston very small like Mullen, South Carolina, but very small. Where that's like my main thing is I want to let people know in the world that where I come from, there's some
Mm.
great people that don't like to be in the spotlight, but I want them in the spotlight because I want them to know how great these people are.
So you
Right.
sold me when you said shine a light on your town, your hometown. I was gone. I was like, love it, love it.
And see,
So
vice versa. That played hand in hand. And why I wanted to collaborate with you because I see you doing your thing too. And it's not to be racist or biased or anything, but I just wanted to start with my black people because we need it the most. You know what I mean? We've been through some of the worst trauma. I don't think no other race been through what black people done been through. You know what I mean? Or even close to it. So it's just like not to like I said, not to be racist or biased or anything like that, but it's just man, like I said, I want to start with my people, bro, and that, not saying that I only get black people on my podcast. I'm actually coming up to getting a Arthur. She's she's Caucasian or whatever like that, but she's coming on soon. So yeah,
nice.
it's just about saying like in the black people, like you said. So yeah, I'm glad we share that in common too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And everybody has a story. Everybody has a story and everybody has a voice. And some of these stories that I've heard so far in the almost 2 years I've been a podcaster, it's been like mind blowing.
oh,
And you're right. It's therapy for some people. It is really therapy when they come up here and they talk about these things and they finally get it off their chest.
hmm
So at one point, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, somebody told me, I think you do really good interviews with artists. Maybe you should make that your niche. And I said, I thought about it though. I thought about only just interviewing artists, and then I thought about it. I was like, no, no, I can interview anybody. I'm
right.
breaking the silence over here.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna interview everybody.
you can make artists just like yeah, your number one if that's what your fans want. But like, nah, don't limit yourself. Like, nah.
Right, limiting myself. So now I done moved on to about the podcast so fast and forgot and skipped past some of the questions I was supposed to ask before then.
You said something. So what you had said though, you were just like, I can't even remember it now, but it's gonna come back to me though in a second.
Uh-oh.
You go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So tell me, where did the name Tonio the Great come from? What's the story behind that?
Okay. Like I told you, I've been rapping since I was 11. So I've had Tonio the Great is probably like my fifth, sixth name. Yeah, probably like my fifth name. Okay, so of course, when I was started out at 11, I had a name given to me because I was just learning the ropes. So that was T Money. Like I really didn't keep that long or whatever. So, okay, I started rapping when I was 11. By the time I was 14, I had put out I put out my first mixtape when I was 14. So, and then so by the time I was 13, really like 12 and a half, 13, I had already grabbed the ropes of writing. Cause when I was 11, I had people, writing, showing me the ropes or whatever. So it didn't take me long. Like by the time I was 12, 13, I'm like, okay, let me try to do this on my own. Like, and so, um, fast forward, I'm like when I put the mixtape out, I had started going by Young Insane. I had changed my name to
Hmm.
Young Insane, and like that was young. I was 14, so I'm young. So I kept Young Insane for a while, and then I had switched to this name. I think around like maybe 17, 18, I switched to this name named Sabio. Now
Hmm.
Sabio means wise one in Spanish. Cause this guy had told me he was like, you ahead of your time. They told me around that age. So he like, you just ahead of your time or whatever like that. Might have been 16 actually. Yeah, I don't think it was 17. I think it was 16. So I had Sabio for a while. Then I even picked up Sabio the Great. And then a lot of people, what made me change Sabio the Great is a lot of people would just mess it up. Like I was on the radio one day and they had introduced me and they was like, Sabio the Great is coming to the mic. Then I had went to perform one day, and they had said the same thing. She stumbled up on it real bad. She was like, Sabio, and I was like, dang. So I was like, back to the drawing board. Let me just try to change this. And Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite artists. Like, and that's his name. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Right.
wow, let me see, Tonio. Then growing up, my name is Antonio, but people just automatically they gonna drop that "and" off of them.
You
Like
know it.
yeah, they just gonna call you Tonio. So a while I was like, man, my name is Antonio, but then I just started to embrace it. So I was like, Tonio the Great is my name, and I'm sticking with it. And I'm glad I changed it because it just fit better. When I went to Tonio the Great, even though I hadn't had my podcast and I hadn't started acting or anything like that, because I think I went to Tonio Da Great around like 21, 22. Um, I just at that moment it was like, okay, boom. I felt more as an entertainer then. I felt more professional then when I went to Tonio the Great. It just
Right.
fit me better. You know what I mean? As opposed, so I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, boom. I'm finna really walk into Tony. I'm finna really step into being an entertainer, and I'm not gonna change it again. That's the name. You know what I mean? So be rocking with it,
Nice. Now
and I
y'all
like it, by the way.
Now y'all see how he just stumbled over the fact that he when before I got into podcasting and acting, like we weren't gonna talk about that. So when did the acting career start?
Okay. Even though the acting career hasn't been long and it hasn't been much, I do plan to continue with it and do some more. But yeah, I started acting 26. I'm 28 right now, so at the age of 26, a little bit after I had the podcast, probably like a few months after I had the podcast. So um yeah, that actually what helped me get it a little bit because we had put a few episodes out, so I had no prior acting towards it. Actually, the girl that was the host on my podcast, she was already acting. She had been acting with the director since she was in high school, and he was, coming up. He was making his way up, and he was doing like a series or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, you acting?" I was like, "I want to, get into it too." Now, keep in mind the same thing with my podcast. Like I be telling people, you got to be able to talk stuff into existence because that's real. Like you got to think it. If you don't think it first, then it's never going to happen for you. You got to believe it yourself. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be acting one day. Just loosely talking, but I meant it though. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get in it. I didn't know that, but I was just like, I'm gonna do it. So boom, fast forward to we here now. So I had just got out of the hospital. Now, okay, let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, I had told her, I said, hit him up and let him know I want to act. So she did, and this was professional though. So he had me fill out the application. And then he was like, have you ever did any acting or whatever?" Like I was like, nah, but I did a little bit, stage play, but I never did, that type of acting. So he was like, okay. So he had explained the role to me, like what it was. He was like, I need you to be professional and I need you to dress professional, because I played the mayor, an intern mayor. So he was like, can you do that? I was like, yeah. Like I read the script and everything like that. I was like, okay, this fit me. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So, but before we got to that, I had ended up going to the hospital. Like I was about to die almost.
No.
Yeah, cause I had okay, I gotta tell you a story within a story. So one day I had worked third shift or whatever, and I worked at Walmart. I used to stock at Walmart, so I used to be in and out of the freezer. I stocked the dairy parts. I used to be in and out of the cooler. So I don't know if that played a role into my health or whatever, but maybe it did. But I get off work one day and I work out religiously. Like I love to work out. So I get off work, I'll go work out. I'm feeling good. And I come home, I'm like, okay, this Friday, and I'm off on Friday, so I'm like, I ain't gonna waste my off day. So I'm like, I'm gonna just take a nap and then I'm gonna get up. So man, I went to sleep about one, probably like 1 in the afternoon. Man, I didn't wake up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what? I had to look at my phone again. I said, is something wrong? I looked at the clock in there in the kitchen. I was like, oh no, that's the right time. So okay, I'm like, boom, my chest is hurting. So I'm like, dang, I'm thinking I've got some congestion. So I put some vapor rub on there. I go lay
Not
back
the
down.
vapor rub.
I put the I put the vapor rub on. I go lay back down and I wake back up and it's done got worse. So now I'm wheezing. So I'm like, man, I gotta go to the hospital. So this 24 hours done passed though. So because I don't like to rush to the hospital. Like I don't like hospitals like that.
Wow.
So like, okay, I'm like, boom, I go to the hospital. Um, they checking me or whatever. At first, I tell them what's going on, but at first they not being honest with me. So I'm just like, okay, so what's up? So I'm just thinking like they gonna, maybe give me a little medicine, send me on out my way. And then they just like, sir, there's somebody you can call. And I'm like, what you mean? They like, yeah, we gonna have to admit you. And so like I'm like, dang. So I call my sister, call my mom, let them know what's going on or whatever, and they admit me. But I'm sitting in the hospital for 3 days, going crazy, not knowing what they ain't let me know nothing. They ain't checking on me for real. So I spazzed out like, just come on, man, let me go or let me know something, like So they come in. I had this great doctor. He used to. My mom's a nurse, and he used to work with my mom. So the guy who did my surgery. So he come in. He let me know they did X-rays on my lungs or whatever like that. And he was like, "Man, you got a collapsed lung." And he had
No.
told me. He said, "Man, you look like." He said, "Your lungs look like you 70 years old. You've been smoking since you know what I mean? Like you have been smoking a long time." And I was like, man, what? So he scared me for real. Like he really did scare me. But they did the surgery. I was able to make a recovery. They had to staple up my lungs. But that was the second time. I had one in 2020 where my lung had collapsed, but I didn't need surgery. It had just healed on its own. But this time it was, got serious. So I was thankful to be alive. So right, like 2 weeks after that, that's when I got the call from DJ about the road, and they were just like, "It really aligned." So
Yeah.
I was just like, "Dang, I'm so thankful." I was fresh out the hospital. Couldn't work, so I was just ready to get into something like just joy. So that's when I had my first role, and I did a good job with it, and had him won him over. So did that. Then we went on to the movie. I was in the movie, and now I'm just trying to find, get back into it, find a different direction, get back into it.
I know that's right. Wow.
Yeah.
Hospital, but you know what? I say this a lot. What's aligned with you? There's no struggle with it. Like it's gonna happen. It's just gonna. Sometimes I feel like it just fall in your lap,
Right, right. No,
literally.
right. That's right. Cause
I tell my family all the time. I'm like, I say it every day. I'm gonna be a billionaire, and it's gonna be soon. I don't know how
man,
I'm gonna get there, but I'm
hey,
gonna be a billionaire.
you know what?
Long,
You saying that somebody just said something. I just seen an interview with somebody. And this is a famous person too. They got money. Actually, he was like going back to what I said. You got to talk it into existence. He was like, look, Cash, Birdman and them, Birdman. He was like, look, Birdman did all that Cash Money millionaires. Look at him now, he a billionaire. Like, you feel me? So you got to talk it. You got to believe it. You already going off a great start. So now all it is just, you know what I mean, doing that work now,
doing the
putting that work,
work. You got to
putting that
put in the
work.
work. You really do have to put in the work. I think people sometimes don't take what they're doing serious enough.
Mm,
And I don't say this to like throw a shot, but some podcasters just press play.
mm.
And some podcasters press play and really be intentional about what they're doing. They
Right,
want people to hear the story. They want it to be good content. They want it to be, great. So
right.
they put their all into it. I'm still trying to figure out how to get sleep.
Mm.
I hadn't figured it out yet. I'd be up all night working, and then 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm saying good night when everybody else saying good morning. I'm gonna figure it out one day though. But that's why I keep saying I'm gonna be a billionaire one day. You got to put
Right,
in the work. Put in the work.
right. And I'm glad you had said that too, though, because like, man, that's what I be trying to stress to people, bro. Especially me, like, even forgive me if I make it look easy, like. You know what I mean? Forgive me, but even though I might make it look easy, it's work behind it. And I ain't even trying to say that like it's just hard work or it's pounding work or like I don't want to do it. What I'm just saying to you is like if you really want this like this podcast or just anything that you're doing, it do requires work for you to be great. And part of you mentioned why I changed my name Tonio Da Great is why I say that saying I wouldn't be here if I wasn't feeling great. It's two reasons why I say that. Number one, like I just said, I could have died on a few occasions. You know what I mean? So it's just anytime I'm on that mic, like right now, I'm always grateful and thankful because I never know when it's gonna be my last. Like I had a homie who he passed away a few years ago. I guarantee you, the last beat he made, he did not know that it was gonna be his last beat. You know what I mean? So it's just
Hmm.
like that's one of the reasons why I say it, and it's also it's just like let me know like boom. greatness is from the moment I say that I'm finna put my best foot forward. You know what I mean? Like, cause
Right.
like what I just said, I don't know. This could be my last time. Like, God
Right.
forbid. So that's why I came up with that. And go back to what I said with the podcast. Everything tie back in here. It make a lot of sense. I ain't just, you know what I mean? I ain't just doing. I'm past that age where I'm just can be just doing stuff. Like,
Right.
nah.
Right. But some people don't even get it at your age. They still be getting it later on in life. So at the end of the day, I'm really a big stickler on time because I really feel like, you could be here right now and go in the next minute or the next second. And I feel
Right.
like every single day we're writing our obituary, we just don't know it. We're writing our obituary about how we live our lives because that's what they're gonna put on the obituary. Just think about it. They're gonna put on that obituary that Tonio was a great guy. Nikki Nicole was a great. If that's what you're writing your life to be,
Mm,
but so you got to think about every day that do you own that clock? Or you just obeying it? Are you just getting up and doing what you think you're supposed to do and not actually pouring into yourself and being the best version of yourself? So I'm a big person on time. Time, we don't have it. We don't know when our last day is. Like you said, your friend that know that was his last song,
yeah. Yeah.
gone.
Right.
You
And
just
then
don't know.
senseless stuff like that. So it's just like, man, it's all about how you move too. Like you said, you writing that legacy, and like I said, I
Yes.
know I want to be leaving something behind. Like you feel me? So that's why I'm just in it. And then you said something else too. Like that's really the big lesson that I learned last year. Is like we on borrowed time. I lost so many people that like it wasn't even not even just to say that they was directly, but they was connected to me in some kind of way. Like I lost a lot of people last year. First and foremost, I lost my best friend, like the person that I believe had the most faith in me, my grandmama. Like
Wow.
I was really raised as a child, raised with my grandma. So like, cause my mama worked so much, so we spend. There'd be times I seen my grandma more throughout the week than I seen my own mama. So
Right.
it was just like losing her last year, and that, like I said, she was the one. I don't still to this day, I don't even believe nobody believed in me like that woman believed in me. It's just that look, like that look you get from somebody that you know, or that words of affirmation where you be like, I believe everything that you saying. You know what I mean? So it was that. So yeah, like I said, ever since then, I was just like, yeah, we on. I've been trying to make her proud ever since then. Even before then, like I've been trying to make her proud. So
I'm sorry for your loss. And I know she looking down. She probably like, oh boy, did he go again? He great. He know he great. So I know she
yeah,
looking down like she's proud of
and
you.
all the time. I don't know if people, I try not to push my beliefs on anybody like that, but me, I'm a spiritual person, and them red cardinals, man, they be coming through all the time. So yeah, she always let me know that she around some kind of way.
Some kind of way. You know what? Whether it's a knock at the door.
Yeah,
Now, it be the littlest things like maybe a song played that they used to listen to. It. Listen, I've been there. I know.
that be,
When the presence of people that love me, when I'm really feeling down, and I know when they show up. So I've
hmm
been there now. I know exactly what you're talking about. So let's talk
and,
about this upcoming project that you have
okay,
out the blue. Tell me
okay,
a little bit about it.
out the blue, okay, man. This actually my first project in a long time, actually, cause when the last time I dropped a project? I dropped a project when I was 20, I think. Yeah. So I had just been doing singles, like, cause I had been advised, you know what I mean, kind of like from a mentor to just be like, you should just focus on more like things. Cause the last project I did, or the project before that, it was basically like a deluxe. Like it was like 20 some songs on there, and it did. I feel like it kind of underperformed. So I was just like told myself like if I do it, I'm never gonna do something like that. If I put a lot of time and the energy I put into, I'm gonna make sure it don't flop like that ever again. So, just coming into this year, I set goals at the top of the year. So, music goals, life goals, I set goals. So, podcast goals, all of that. So, one of my music goals was I just the guy that I mentioned actually that passed away that didn't know that he was just gonna be his last beat. That was my producer. You feel me? So he was the one that was like making a lot of my beats, and that was like the only really guy I knew like that was trusted to make my beat. That really made my type of style beats. You know what I mean? That was close to me. We was in the same city and everything like that. So um, I hadn't just been able to lock it. And even me and him, when he passed, we wasn't on the best of terms. Like we had some stuff that we needed to talk about that we never got the chance to talk about, and I still hate that to this day. You know what I mean? But so okay, I'm just I come into this year. I'm like, man, I want to lock in with a producer. That's my main goal. I'm like, man, I need to lock in with a producer. I want to get a project out there. It's been too long. Like I said, it's been since I'm 20, 21 years old. Like it's been a while since I did a project, even if it's just something small. So Out the Blue is not really an album; it's more so like an LP. You know what I mean? Like a little short album, so to speak. It ain't nothing but 5 songs on there. So I know this guy named KJS from California. We've been going back and forth over the years. He'll send me a beat, you know what I mean? Because he say he like my style, I like his style. So we just kind of build up a connection over the, you know what I mean, over the years or whatever like that. So I just hit him. I just hit him out the blue. I was like, hey man, send me a beat or two. He was like, okay, I'm finna send you one or two. And then I was just like, you know what, man, let's just do a project, just try to test it out. So he was just like, okay, let's do it. So, but slowly but surely, like, well, really not even slowly. I knocked it out quick. He sent me the two beats. I would record, send it back to him. He sent some more. I would record, send it back to him. So I got the project done in like a week or two, really. So the project is really done, even though it's not out yet. The project is done. It's been done, really. I'm just been focused on it on the promo. As an artist nowadays, you can't just I got the project, boom, nah, you gotta do so much more with it. Now you gotta promo, do this, you gotta have TikTok, social medias, all that. So it's just a lot that come with it. So I've just been focusing on that actually. So, but yeah,
Okay.
out the blue, reason I named it out the blue. Okay, we had got the songs done and everything like that, and I'm like, dang, I ain't got a name for the project. So I'm like, I'm like, dang, like I said, I'm good with names, and I don't just name something just to name it. It got to mean something. So I'm like, dang, how did we come up with this project? And I'm just like, how did I hit them? I'm like, I hit them out the blue. So I'm like, that's the name. And it just ring good. So I'm like, yeah, out the blue is what we're going for. So it's no features. It's just me and him. And I actually did, all of the promo. I did the interview on my own. So it's in house is with my mentor slash manager. Um, and my editor, that's the only you mentioned team. We talking about team earlier. That's the only team I got, bro. It's just my mentor and editor slash engineer. He do like three in one, and then I got my video editor. So, yeah, we did it in house. We've been doing our promo in house. We did our music videos in house. So that's the beautiful thing about the project. It's just been all organic. Like I ain't go outside. Even to my down to the artwork, I stayed to the original guy that's been doing my artwork in the past. So and all the ideas came from me. So they say, why you ain't got no features? And it is a feature. That's the producer, KJ. So that's the, you know what I mean, new thing I wanted to do. I wanted to lock in with the producer, like I said. So that's what I think is, man.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Let me say one more thing about Out the Blue, real quick. Um, and this for those who don't know, maybe this be your first time hearing of me. You know what I mean? Never heard my music. This is, I proudly stand on this. This is my best work to date. Like this is my best songs, best body of work to date. So, I'm just glad I get better with time because that's what I want to do. Get better. Like everybody I look up to, they get better with time. So, yes, this I can probably stand on it and be like, once you listen to Out the Blue, you'll be glad you did for sure.
I know that's right. I know that's right because it was out the blue. I like that. I like the fact that you have a meaning behind everything that you do. I love that. So, what emotion do you wish people felt more when they listen to hip hop or either your music?
Damn, that's a good question. I got to think a little bit too, cause like he just mentioned, I don't want to just get no answer. Your vibe. I had to understand this myself. Like, don't. not everything is meant to, be deep. I'm a deep person, so I'll be like, not everything is just meant, like some stuff just be a vibe. You know what I mean? Not all music is meant to harm you, even though it sounds a certain way. Don't mean that it's meant to harm, or you know what I mean. It's meant to down. Like some stuff really just be a vibe, though. Like so, that's what I want other people from outside genres or stuff like that from the outside just to understand that, like, cause like I said, I had to understand it myself. Like some stuff really just be a vibe, like you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
and it's just like if it ain't for you, don't knock it. I had to learn that too. Like if it's not just leave it alone. And
Leave it
because
alone.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of stuff that they can point to at your job. You know what I mean? That so it's vice versa. So I just feel like, oh yeah, if it's not for you, you don't rock with it. Don't bash it. Just leave it alone, bro. Especially with my music too. Like. And not to say that I'm sensitive or nothing, I take good or bad criticism, but it's just like I said, it's a difference between criticism and hate. Like I said, if
Yes.
you it's that bad for you, just cut it off and leave it alone. You know what I mean? Simple.
Please. Just simple.
Right.
Simple. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
last question.
Yes, ma'am.
If your purpose could talk, what would it say to you today?
Keep going. Keep going. You going down the right track. Cause that's a good question too. And I just want to tell myself like keep going. That's what they're telling me like. Cause I pray for them signs when I'm talking to God. That's how he gonna talk to you. He ain't gonna be able to. My younger self, I used to want him to be like, come in my bedroom, sit right next to me, and be like, look, this what you. But that it don't work like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like he gonna talk to you in ways that he gonna put it in mysterious ways. Like you say, God works in mysterious ways, so he gonna put it in unorthodox ways. Like when I said how I prayed for this podcast, I didn't get it the way I planned it. You know what I
Of
mean?
of
Even
course.
with a lot of the stuff, like even down to my when I got my first crib, I didn't get that the way I planned it. Like it wasn't even the best crib I want, but it was my crib. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so, it's like that's what he'll tell me. He'll be like, bro, like, cause I'm a planner. You know what I mean? I like when stuff don't go. You know, I'll be like, man, here we go. You know what I mean? You know, so I had to learn like sometimes like God what I plan because he seeing stuff I didn't see. You know what I mean? So he just like, bro, like I'm playing it better than you because I'm seeing the whole thing. You know what I mean? You might have had a good plan, but I got a great plan. You see what I'm saying? So he just be like, yeah, let me take care of some of this shit sometimes. You know what I mean? So I be having to trust the process. You feel what I'm saying? So he'll send me them little signs or like I said, even mentioning with my mama. I wanted to get her on my I've been wanting to get my mother on my podcast. Like, you feel what I'm saying? For a while. Like, I had already, the producer in me, I had already seen that. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Seen how that episode could go, how I wanted it to line up. But it was just like, wait. Because when I wanted it to happen, even though it would have been a good story, it would have been good a lot done happened since then now. And now done took it from a good to great story. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now he just
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it just keep going and have patience for real, for real. He like, bro, just trust the process. That's what my purpose is telling me. Trust the process. Even though a lot of times I go here and tell people who listening, like, a lot of times and this gonna happen to you too. You'll be going down your journey, and you like, man, I'm so confused. I don't know what to make out of this. You know what I mean? You be like,
Been there.
you know what I mean? Like, you like, God, just show me some sign. Let me know that I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? And boom, right when I pray that, he'll let me know, like, boom, you on the right track. So for sure, for sure. And
You
I know
right.
30 minutes, so I'm forgive me. So
But nah, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I'm loving it. But you're right. Sometimes you gotta be careful what you ask God for, though, because
yeah,
you know how people say, well, God, bring me a good man or bring me a good woman. You gotta be detailed in that. You gotta say, bring me a woman or a man that's gonna work. Bring me a woman or a man that's gonna have potential. More than just potential. Bring me. You gotta put some details on it. Like you can't just be saying just one little thing and don't put something behind that. So you gotta be careful what you ask God for because you might just get it.
that's what I
And
say.
it,
Gotta be ready for it too.
ready.
Speaking of going, echoing off what you said, a lot of people be praying for a good man or a good woman, but God ain't why would he send you a good woman and you a terrible man? You
Come
know what I mean?
on.
Work on yourself too. If you want to good attract good, you know what I mean? So you feel me? So if you wondering why you ain't attract something, you need to be looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? So that's what I had to learn myself. Like me, I ain't even thinking about no relationship right now because I'm really just locked in on what me. I know I'm working on me. So that's
You done
just what
you done stepped on somebody's toes now. You done stepped on somebody's toes out there now.
sometimes I need to hear it though. The truth hurts sometimes. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
do. It do hurt. It do hurt. But you ain't had to
Don't
do it
hate,
like that.
hate the messenger. You know what I mean? Don't hate the messenger.
Man. All right. So now we're gonna go
It
over
is
to the
It
huh.
is one thing I want to. I didn't. I forgot to put this in the thing. But today, starting today, I'm able to go. I y'all can vote for me to be America's next top hit maker and chance to be at the Citizens Festival. And performing in front of Rolling Stone. I think it's for like the first cut is for like the next 9 days, and so yeah, you can get on there and vote. One the first time it's free, but then it's like you can make certain amount of donations, and whatever your donation you make, that's the number of vote goes towards that artist. So yeah, man, if y'all can just go on there and vote me on, like I said, nexthitmaker.com.org. My bad.
I know that's right. Look at you. Congratulations. Making moves.
And
I
another
love it.
the podcast they got awarded we got awarded not awarded but we got nominated, excuse me, for the Bama's most Bama's podcast show of the year. So
Go ahead.
at the Alabama Music Awards show. It's gonna be July 27th. Even though it's Alabama, man, we have people from Chicago. We have people all around the United States come and just be a part because it's a big net. It's the biggest network event in Alabama. It happens every year. Just 11th one. So you ain't gonna find no bigger place to network in Alabama. You know what I mean? Other than this event. So, like I said, even though it's Alabama, a lot of people from all around the United States be coming and everything like that. So only thing with it is to be nominated, you had to be from Alabama. But like I said, we been having people from Chicago. I know last year they had a band from Chicago come down and perform. They had so many people from Chicago just came down, like just to show they support and everything like that. So man, yeah. Y'all can vote.
Nice.
Y'all can vote at AlabamaMusicAwardshow.com. And like I said, it is Bama's podcast show of the year, making a lot of sense. I don't care whatever you vote for on that. Just vote for us. You feel me?
Nice. I love it. Congrats again. You doing your thing now. Don't stop. Keep going.
And
Keep
thank you
going.
for having me on here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we was able to do it because just another thing I had said in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, we gonna collab one day. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad we was able to do it, man. I love what you do here. I love the way you things set up. Believe it or not, I've learned just by you having me on here. Just you know what I mean? Because like my mama told me, you can learn from everybody. You see what I'm saying? So good, bad, old or young, you can learn from everybody. So it's just you done taught me some things just by having me on here, and you definitely done gave me some inspiration, some affirmation, you know what I mean, some good positive vibes that I'm gonna take with me on my journey. And I'm definitely gonna be rooting for you, man. And we gonna keep you by my side, man, and stay locked in with you. You know what I mean, and support you along your journey as well.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So now we're gonna test your knowledge of music. This is what
Okay,
I call the BTS verses and vibes. So I'm gonna play the countdown, and then we come back. I got some questions for you.
okay,
All right.
okay.
Welcome to BTS verses and vibes. Here's how it works. I'll give you a lyric or a music trivia question. If you got to guess the correct answer, think fast, trust your vibes, and let the verses guide you. Let's see what you really know. Let's go. All right. First question. Which hip hop album was the first to win album of the year at the Grammys? All right, I'm gonna give you some multiple choice. I'm gonna give you some multiple choice. You got Outkast with the speaker box, you got Lauren Hill, and you got Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so I'm gonna go the process of elimination, right? I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't Kendrick.
You sure?
Oh, is this a trick question? Hold on, hold on. What's the first to win album of the year?
First.
And I know Outkast one of my favorite groups, and I know I know that they had a little uproar at one of them award shows where they was mad about the South not getting their credit. I'm gonna go with
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Outkast.
You sure?
I know that's probably wrong.
You sure?
I'm gonna go with Outkast.
Kendrick
Oh, it's
Lamar.
Lamar. Ah,
Kendrick Lamar. See, you
oh,
was getting ready to eliminate that man from the beginning.
that was the first hip hop album. Oh, at the Grammys. Okay, okay. I'm thinking,
Grammys.
yeah, Grammys. I'm thinking. You know what I thought you had? I'm thinking you had some other award.
See, you wasn't paying attention. Wasn't paying attention. See that? All
All
right.
right.
So now this is finish the lyrics. Finish the lyrics to Missy Elliott's song "Work It." Okay. So this is the first one. Is it worth it? Let me work it. Here's your options. I throw it down and rehearse it. That's A. B is flip it twice and let me curse it. C is I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. D is gotta hit the beat, then immerse it.
See,
Okay, okay, he doing something, he doing something.
yeah.
All right.
I'm-
So
um,
next one is which 1990s, I know it's a long time ago. I love the 90s though. R&B group had hits with Weak, Rain, and Right Here Human Nature remix. Got In Vogue, SWV, Escape, or TLC.
TLC.
No, I know you didn't get that wrong. I you answer too fast. I know you didn't get that one wrong.
Oh, that's wrong. No,
You said
SW.
yes. Yeah, SWV. I said I know you just said
Hey,
TLC.
that's
So
hey, I'm a '90s baby, but I'm late '90s though. You feel me?
man,
'96.
this was the best time for music. I ain't gonna argue about it. I ain't gonna talk about it. You know it. You know it.
It definitely was a good time. It definitely was a good time.
All right. So that was the last question. So now this is gonna be your time to shine. So I'm gonna do the countdown, and when we come back, you're gonna be up here by yourself. You can be here by yourself. Let everybody know how to follow your journey. We already know that the project Out of the Blue is coming up, but get them a little insight of what type of vibe is it's gonna be, and also what's coming up for you other than the other stuff. Reiterate what you just said about voting as well after the
Okay.
countdown. All right, here we go.
Hey, it's your boy Tonio Da Great. You know I wouldn't be in here if I wasn't feeling great. And yes, I'm just gonna shout my social medias out, man. You can follow me on IG at Tonio underscore the Great. You can follow me on TikTok at Tonio the Great One. Follow my podcast. That's at official making a lot. No, at official MAS podcast. I'm sorry, at official MAS podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Find us on YouTube. Find all our videos and episodes on YouTube. That's at making a lot of sense. Um, yes. Vote for my podcast at AlabamaMusicAwardShow.com. Um, Vote for us when you get to the category Best Podcast Show of the Year, Bama's Best Podcast Show of the Year. Um, Vote for me on America's Next Top Hitmaker.org. Vote for me to perform at the Citizens Festival show. Um, and yeah, man, just stream. Yes, please stream that Out the Blue. It's gonna be dropping soon. stream Out the Blue on all platforms, man. On YouTube Music, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, anything, anywhere you listen to your music at. TikTok, all of that is gonna be on there. Out the Blue, you can stream that Tonio Da Great KJS. And yes, this year also I mentioned the Alabama Music Awards show. I am going to be hosting one of the stages, the K1 stage, this year at the Alabama Music Awards show. So yes, I am going to be a host this year at this year's Alabama Music Awards show. So please get your tickets. You can get them online. You can get them at the door. Either way, it is July 27th. The pre-show starts at 2. Red carpet starts at I believe 5, and yes, the actual award show starts at 6. It's gonna be at the Bama Civic Center in Bessemer, Alabama. So yes, get your tickets, man. Come on out and see us. And yes, um, that's about it, man. I just thank Miss Nikki for having me on here, doing my thing. Let me rock out. You know what I mean. Y'all continue to support her and on her journey as well. And great things to come to her, man. Great things to come to her. I think that's about everything. Yeah, I think that's everything.
He said, I think that's about everything. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And listen, we're gonna figure out how I can collab with you so I can come support you on your platform as well. So we're gonna
Hey,
get it together.
glad you said that because yes, I want to collect. Now that I see how to do it, like somewhat, I'm finna be start doing the virtual. Cause that I was talking to my homie, my manager, or whatever. I was like, man, I want to start doing the little even like, cause we be going live and stuff. But I was like, man, I want to start doing the virtual. Like I be having people, some people be coming from Atlanta, which I'm glad they're able to come down, but it's just like. I feel like I was putting that box on me, not knowing how to do that virtual. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes. You putting the box on you because you can be interviewing people from all over the world.
right, right. And streaming, I'm gonna get into all of that. So yeah, I'm
I
glad
got
you.
you. I
Yeah.
got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. We gonna get you there. We gonna get you there one day at a time.
I like the fact that you got your gear too. Like I was on like you said, you do your own. I did my own work too. You got your gear, you got your coffee mugs, and you got your shirts and all of that. Like I like how you did that. Like so, I want to ask you a question if you ain't mind. Is that like did you how did you get all of that set up even down to your website like
Well, I didn't want to do it that way starting out, and that's why it took me so long to get there, honestly. And then I just said, well, you know what? I'm not gonna do it for right now because I actually have my own machine.
uh
I wanted to put my touch on it.
uh-huh
So this way was through a third party. And I
gotcha
don't like the third party stuff because they ship it. Now they ship it. They do everything for it or whatever the case may be, but they take so much money from you in your pocket.
yeah
Not only that, you have to charge so much more just
to
for
get
them
through
to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably gonna eventually come away from that. But in time, but I got my own machine to make all my own stuff, but I just got to get it right. I want it to be right, like to the point where my touch is on it and I can send it out personally. So yeah,
hey
I started it that way because it's just something to get it out there. People was requesting it. I want a shirt, but they're so high.
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
high. So
I'm
one
gonna
day at a
send
time.
help you out and I'm gonna send somebody your way like I done had some this episode coming out soon too on my podcast. I had a clothing brand, like they're a real legit clothing brand. They from where I'm from. But they have moved to Tennessee or whatever. They call BBA. But
Hmm.
man, like I think it'll be great for y'all to collab and then you like you said, you can talk to them about because they do collabs like that. They do collab as far as like coming on podcasts and they do like you know what I mean uh clothing collabs as well too.
Hmm.
Like they all about collabs. So yeah, I'm gonna send you their Instagram and whatever and y'all can exchange or whatever. Like they real friendly or whatever like that. So I feel like y'all can learn from each other as well. So
Look at God. Boy, I tell you, every episode is a blessing in disguise somewhere because one of the episodes I did maybe about a week ago, a lady came on, she makes t-shirts. She said she was gonna make me a t-shirt. Now look, you done pretty much led me to the plug.
Yeah.
God came back and showed out again. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I
Did
love
she,
networking with people.
did she hold a word? Like,
Huh?
hold a word?
Did they hold their word?
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was gonna
Mhm.
say, I mean, he like me. I don't like when he.
Nah,
Hey,
people really
Lord.
do be blessing me, and just like even down to I had one of my guests, and one of my artists that performed at my event this year. I was just having a random conversation with her, about equipment. I was like, "Yeah, I got everything I need." I said, "I just want." I said, "This is a want." I said, "I want a Shure
Mm,
mic."
mm,
She said, "I got a Shure mic. I've only used maybe twice. You want it?" I said, "I want it." She said, "Yeah, I'll ship it today. Brand new, almost brand new Shure mic." She sent it to me.
damn. Hey, yeah. See
So,
how it working though. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool right there, man. Hey,
so
keep doing
God, God be looking out.
like he look out for his people, bro. So keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, man.
Absolutely,
And him
absolutely.
first too, though, and everything that you do, and he gonna take care of you.
That's it. That's it. And you keep going too. Keep going. I listen, it's gonna make a whole lot of sense after a while.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
It's gonna make a
that's what,
whole lot of sense. Keep going. Keep going. You got this.
yes, ma'am. I'm glad you had me on, man. It's been great and refreshing talking to you.
Absolutely. And thank
Yes,
you to everybody else that's out here watching this episode, man. Listen, he has a lot of wisdom. I love it. I love it. And I love when I align with people too, because that's what it's all about. If it's aligned, it's not gonna be a struggle. And I'm gonna keep saying that. I love networking with people, new people that really, really see it. When he said shine the light, he already sold me. He didn't know it. He sold me when he said shine the light. I was gone. But thank you so much for tuning into another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence, where your voice matters, your story inspires, and power creates change. So if today's episode has moved you in any type of way, share it with someone because someone else may need to hear it too. Remember, it all starts with who? Your voice. So until next time, keep speaking your truth and keep breaking the silence. Later. Thank you for tuning in today. If something spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and drop a review to let me know how I'm impacting your journey. And before I go, listen to this powerful review from one of my amazing guests. You don't want to miss what they had to say. Later.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Incognita, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing podcast. It's Nikki Nicole's Breaking the Silence. I was honored to be a guest on this podcast, and I had such an amazing time. It felt like I was talking to a long lost friend. She's so dope and so sweet. So please support her. Go to her channel, subscribe, check out her videos, comment, just any way that you can support her. She's providing a platform for people to share their voice, share some love and some positive information. So definitely check that out. My episode will be airing in March, so I'll be sure to keep y'all posted on that. I'll post it on my page with a link when the time comes. But in the meantime, in between time, all the time, support my girl Nikki, Breaking the Silence podcast. I love y'all. God bless.